Old man, can you tell me your life story?
Why not? Let's sit on the bench and I'll tell you my regretful life story. He looked at me with eyes that had seen 100 years of living and said, "Son, the money. You see, the mistakes you're making right now, I made the same ones. It's time to learn." And I spent 60 years paying for them. I didn't know what to say. I just sat there on a wooden bench outside a small-town barbershop in eastern Tennessee, sitting next to a man who had been alive since 1918. His name was Mr. Arthur Bellamy, 105 years old, thin hands, slow voice. But every word he spoke landed like it weighed something. I was 31 at the time, drowning in credit card debt, working 2 jobs, barely sleeping, and somehow I ended up in that town visiting a friend, and somehow I ended up sitting next to this man. He didn't ask what I did for a living. He didn't ask where I was from. He looked at me and said, "You look tired, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes." And he was right. I smiled politely and told him I was just going through a rough patch. He nodded slowly, like he'd heard that phrase 1,000 times before. Then he said something I'll never forget. "You know, most people don't go broke because they don't earn enough. They go broke because nobody ever taught them what money really is." That one line cracked something open in me. I didn't plan to spend the next 2 hours on that bench, but I did. And what Mr. Bellamy told me that afternoon didn't just change how I think about money, it changed how I think about life. And I want to share it with you. Every word I can remember. He started by talking about his father, a railroad worker, barely made enough to keep the lights on. But somehow, his family always had food, always had clothes, always had a small savings jar in the kitchen cabinet. "My father never made good money," Arthur said. "But he never spent money he hadn't already earned." That was the first thing he warned me about. He told me that the most dangerous habit people fall into is spending tomorrow's money today, using credit for things they don't need yet, buying comfort now and borrowing pain for later. "When you spend what you haven't earned," he said, "you are not just borrowing money, you are borrowing peace of mind and the interest on that." I felt that one deep, because that is exactly what I had been doing for years, living on next month's paycheck, always behind, always catching up. He went quiet for a moment. Then he told me about his older brother, Raymond. Raymond was a sharp one, got a good job at a factory in the early 40s, made decent wages. But every time Raymond got a raise, he bought something bigger, a nicer car, a bigger house, more furniture. Arthur said Raymond spent 40 years working hard and still died with almost nothing, not because he didn't earn well, but because every time his life got a little better, his spending got a lot bigger. He kept raising the floor, Arthur said, so he never built a ceiling. Don't let your spending grow every time your income grows, because if your lifestyle always rises to match your paycheck, you'll never actually get ahead. You'll just be running faster on the same wheel. Then Arthur leaned back and said something quieter. "When I was 40, I lost a good friend. Name was Joseph. Good man, worked at the same mill I did. Joseph had saved up a decent amount over the years, but he kept it all in one place, one account, one plan. And when things went wrong, they went wrong fast. Lost nearly everything in a bad situation he couldn't control." Arthur shook his head. "Joseph used to say, 'I trust where my money is.' And I told him, 'Trust is good, but don't put all your eggs in one place just because the basket looks strong.' That was the third thing. Never keep all your money in one place, not because the world is dangerous, but because life is unpredictable. Spread things out, give yourself options, give yourself room." By this point, I wasn't just listening to be polite, I was leaning in. Something about the way Arthur talked made every sentence feel like it had been carved from real experience. He told me about his wife, Della. Married in 1946, she passed in 2009, 63 years together. He said one of the smartest things Della ever did was keep a small notebook. Every dollar that came in, every dollar that went out, she wrote it down. She didn't do it to be cheap, Arthur said. She did it because she believed you can't control what you don't see. That was the fourth lesson. Track your money, not to obsess over it, but to understand it, because when you know where your money goes, you start making choices instead of just reacting. Arthur said most people are afraid to look at their own numbers, and that fear is exactly what keeps them stuck. Then he paused and looked across the street. You want to know what most people get wrong about money, he said. I nodded. They think it is about getting more, but it is not. It is about keeping more of what you already have. That was the fifth realization. It doesn't matter how much you earn if it all disappears by the end of the month. Wealth isn't built on big paychecks. It is built on what stays. He told me about a time in the 1960s when he had a chance to invest in a small piece of land outside Nashville. It wasn't much, a few acres. He almost didn't do it. He was scared. He didn't know enough. He kept waiting for the right time. I waited 2 years, he said, and by then, someone else had already bought it. That land is now worth more than everything I ever earned in my life. He looked at me with soft eyes. Don't wait until you know everything. You'll never know everything. Start with what you've got and learn along the way. That was the sixth lesson. Waiting for the perfect moment to start building is just another way of standing still. But what he said next, that is the one that hit me the hardest. Arthur reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small photograph, black and white, faded at the edges. It was a picture of him and Della standing in front of a small house, smiling. We never had a lot, he said, but we had enough, and we were happy. He put the photo back slowly. The biggest money mistake I ever saw people make wasn't overspending. It wasn't bad investments. It was sacrificing their time and their people for a number in a bank account. He told me about men he knew who worked 70-hour weeks for decades, missed their children growing up, missed dinners. Missed the small, ordinary moments that you could never get back. They thought they were building something, Arthur said, but when they finally stopped to look around, the house was full of things and empty of people. That was the seventh lesson, and honestly, it was the one I needed the most. Money is a tool. It is not the goal. The goal is the life you build around it, the people, the time, the peace. Arthur didn't tell me to quit my job. He didn't tell me to stop caring about money. He told me to stop letting money be the only thing I cared about. We sat there for a while after that, quiet, watching cars go by, watching the sun dip behind the tree line. Before I left, I asked him one last question. Mr. Bellamy, if you could go back and tell your younger self just one thing, what would it be? He smiled. I'd tell him, don't rush, don't chase, just be steady. The people who win with money aren't the ones who make the most. They're the ones who lose the least. And they're the ones who remember what the money was for in the first place. I shook his hand, thanked him more than he probably realized. I drove home that night in silence. No music, no phone, just thinking. And I kept thinking for weeks after that. I won't sit here and tell you my life changed overnight. It didn't. But it did start to shift, slowly, quietly, the way real change usually happens. I stopped spending money I didn't have. I started tracking every dollar. I stopped raising my lifestyle every time I got a raise. And most importantly, I started paying attention to where my time was going, not just my money. That conversation happened years ago. I never saw Arthur again, but I carry his words with me every single day. And now, I am passing them to you, not as advice, not as rules, just as the quiet wisdom of a man who lived long enough to see what actually matters. If even one of those lessons stays with you tonight, then this was worth it. Take care of your money, but more than that, take care of your life. Because at 105, it is not the money you remember, it is the life you built while you had the chance.